Hello, and welcome back to Let's Get Lit. In today's episode, we're going to be going over the second nun's tale from the Canterbury Tales. This one involves a woman, her husband, the spreading of Christianity, and how this woman ends up becoming a saint. So, let's dive right in and see what happens, shall we? The prologue for the second nun's tale starts off with her asking the Virgin Mary to help give her aid when telling the story of Saint Cecilia's life. She then goes on to break down the name Cecilia in and of itself and what it means and the various meanings it could possibly have. This is where the prologue essentially ends. The story starts out with the second nun telling us about Cecilia and how she was a Roman birth and how she was raised Christian and firmly held in her beliefs of Christianity. She also wanted to make sure that she was clean and chaste before God's eyes. With this, God sent an angel to be her protector. After she is married, her and her husband are in bed, and she tells him that she has a secret that she needs to let him know of. Valerian, who is the husband, says of course, and that he will keep it a secret no matter what. She tells him that God has sent a protective angel over her because she wanted to make sure that she lived a chaste and virginal life, and that her body was to remain clean in God's eyes. She said that she understands that by now being his wife, she would have to submit to him. But he would first have to go and be cleansed in front of God's eyes to make sure that the love that he was going to show her is pure and is of God's love. Valerian, who is her husband, instantly says, "Whatever it takes, I will go and do, so that way I can fully show my love to you." She tells him that he must go to a nearby town about 2 or 3 miles away and find an old man named Urban and let him know what the situation is and what's going on. Once he does this and he has cleansed himself in front of God's eyes, he may come back and see the angel that is protecting her and then be able to fully have his wife. Valerian goes and does this and becomes clean and comes back to his wife. Once he gets back to the bedroom and he sees her, he also can see the angel that's standing right beside her, protecting her. In this angel's arms are 2 roses that have a very sweet scent to it. The angel says that these roses were taken from paradise and are given to them and will never lose its scent or die. He also says that the only person who can see these roses are those who are pure and clean. When Valerian also sees the angel, he asks for one wish, and that is for his brother, Tibersy, to be baptized. The angel thinks this is an amazing wish, and him and his brother are soon off so his brother can get baptized. Not long after this, Valerian's brother is baptized, and they begin to preach the gospel of God to anyone who would listen. Not long after they started to preach, there was a pagan in town whose name was Almachius. When he caught wind of this Christian religion, and the 2 brothers were preaching of it, he gave these men an option. They could either make sacrifices to the god Jupiter, or be executed. The brothers, not wanting to abandon their faith and their love of Christ, decided not to make offers to Jupiter, but instead be executed. The 2 brothers go with the executioner, and after the executioner kills both of the men, he starts to tell everyone that he saw their spirits clothed in dress of angels ascending to heaven as soon as he killed them. When Almachius heard of this, he had the executioner flogged for his disobedience. And speaking of Christianity, he then realizes that the wife, Cecilia, was the one who was really starting all of this preaching of the gospel. When he finds out, he summons her to court and puts her on trial. He starts off by telling her that she needs to be wary of him because he has power to decide who lives and who dies. To which she laughs in his face and says he may have earthly kingdoms that he rules, but they can easily be pricked by the God above, leading to his demise. He then says, does she have no respect for the princes who wield out such power to the high and mighty men? To which she basically responds that the princes of earth have nothing on the prince of heaven, and that these princes of earth are merely fools who go about pretending that they have power, but that when in the next life they shall suffer great pains and torments if they do not worship the one true God. Almachius then says that she is a stubborn wench of a woman and that he will put her to death. She basically tells him, yeah, good luck with that, and that Christ is on her side, and that only he will decide what time she dies and where she will die. He puts her in her house and lights it on fire for 1 full day and 1 full night as her punishment. But after this time, they go inside and realize she's still alive. Not only is she alive and well, but she hasn't even perspired 1 drop of sweat from the heat. Then it is decided that she shall be executed by the executioner's blade. In that time, the executioners were only allowed to be given 3 strikes to kill somebody. And if they could not do it in 3 strikes, they would have to stop. The executioner tries 3 times, but does not end up killing her. For the next 3 days, though, she is wounded, people are collecting her blood, and she continues to preach the gospel and convert people over to Christianity. All of the blood that has come out of her wounds that people have collected, they then wrap her body in it, and none of the blood is wasted. After 3 days, she then passes away, and when she passes away, Pope Urban decrees her as a saint, and the house in which she lived is now considered a holy temple. This is where the second nun's tale ends. I hope you enjoyed this story. Join us next time as we move on to one of the last tales of the Canterbury Tales. Have a great rest of your day. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and as always, stay lit.